So today's podcast is a podcast with the difference. It's actually a recording from the Women in Business first ever virtual all-island female entrepreneurs conference. Yes, that is a mouthful, but it was a jammed packed day and I was asked to speak, which was a pinch me moment, I have to say, because I've always attended the conferences and sat in the audience thinking I would love that to be me someday, up there chatting, and here I was at this amazing event with these amazing people. So in today's podcast, I actually captured the recording and I'm going to share it all with you now. I am aware I talk very fast, but I had a very short time to get a lot of information out and I wanted to bring as much value as I could. So yeah, it's all about building your personal brand, and that's so important in today's noisy world. And I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if you heard the first bit where I said I was honoured to be here, but I absolutely am. And to be speaking at a Women in Business conference is a great privilege. I've attended them all over the years and always aspired in my head, like, I would love to speak at a Women in Business conference someday. So to be here today is a real a goal of mine, and I'm proud to say I've achieved it. So I'm here and I'm talking all about building your personal brand. So it's not, before I start my presentation, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight or in a week or in a month. This takes time and it's hard flipping work, but it really, really, magic happens when you put a strategy in place and you really know what your brand is and what your values are. When you know that, great things happen. So I'm going to kind of cover today what my brand is and how I grew it and give you tips and tricks to do the same. So for anyone that, I'm just trying to move on to my next slide, which I practiced with Neil. There we are. So for anyone who doesn't know who I am, my name is Caroline O'Neill. And as you can see by the pictures there, I am a lot of things. And sometimes when I look at it, I'm like overwhelmed going, how do I, as I said to you, Sarah, juggle all the balls? But we do. And as women, we're really, really good at it. And we should give ourselves the credit we deserve. But I am the founder of Dig for Success, which is an organization that helps businesses grow their brand and their business, ultimately using social media, but we do a lot of things within Dig for Success, and I help make a difference to those businesses, and I'm proud to say that. I'm also the founder of Dig Mama, which you can see me and my family there, which is my social media handles on Facebook and Instagram, and it's all about my family and sharing the content around that, and also helping businesses and people make a difference as well. So I'm very passionate about my Dig Mama and my community there. And then I'm also a co-founder of the Northern Ireland Social Media Awards, and you'll hear me talk about social media a lot in this presentation. I have a passion for it. I love it. I love the things that it can achieve for you and your business and in life as well. So it wasn't really a shock to me when I wanted to have something that kind of celebrated social, but myself and my co-founder Neve founded the Social Media Awards in 2019, and it's something we're so passionate about, and it helps celebrate businesses and social as well. And then I am also the founder of the Dig podcast, and the Dig podcast is an educational platform that helps businesses find out all the tips and tricks and knowledge which can help their businesses grow. So there's a lot going on there, and sometimes and there's a lot going on in everyone's lives. You can become muddled about what am I? I'm all these things. But what helped me kind of define my brand was stepping back and thinking, what do I want to be known as? What do I want people to say about me when I'm not there? And that might sound like a cliche, but it's true. And it helps you, guide you in your content and all the things that you do, and what are your values. So I've written here, when you're building your personal brand, you must have a clear vision of your values as a person and what your passions are. Now that might sound deep, but it's not. It's stripping it back as to your reasons why. And once you do that, you become very clear on your path, and it must be evident in all that you do. So as you can see from my pictures, I have a lot of things going on, and a lot of opportunities come up, and I always take it back to, is that really what I'm about, getting involved in that, or being around that person, or mixing in those circles? Does that stick to my brand values? And my brand values or my ethos is making a difference in business and in life. And if I want to get involved in something, or someone asks me to collaborate, or I'm asked to go on a certain event, if it doesn't make a difference, or it's not going to make a difference, or it doesn't make a difference to other people, I tend to not get involved, because it's not my thing. It's not what I stand for. So I ask you to think about your values as a brand. Now, it doesn't have to be really deep like that. Mine's quite deep because it's just the path that I'm on. But if your values are to educate and to always have your customer at the forefront, get that written down somewhere and know it off by heart. I recently done a podcast with Ellen Kavanagh, who owns Waxperts. A lot of people in the South will know her, and the North. But she talked about knowing your brand values like you know your name. You have to. Otherwise, what do you stand for? What are you doing this for? Why? So if you're doing it for your people, if you always want to be honest with them and genuine and teach them, then have that as your brand values and your core reasons why, and that will help guide you to develop your own brand so much. So even though you think you might know what they are, write them down somewhere in a notebook, and always go back to that when you're struggling on your path, on your business journey, and your life journey. It really will help, because there'll be a lot of people listening today and they don't have a business, and that's all right. They're employed by an employer, they're an employee, but they still have their own personal brand. You can build your brand even if even if you don't have a business, and I'm a great believer of that. So have those values always, and keep them at everything you do, and great things will happen. I honestly believe that. And just moving on, I've said here, what do you want to be known for? So I talked about that, and I've two pictures up here, and one's very much business focused and one's very much life focused, but that's mine, making a difference in business and in life. But get your strap line. What do you want people to say about you? And it might sound cheesy to some people and corny, but it's absolutely not. It's so relevant to building your brand. I can't even stress it enough. So once you know what you're about, you need to find out who your audience is. And this may sound like an exercise. I know who my customer is, or who my audience is, but do you really? Do you know them inside out? Do you know them like you know yourself? Because realistically, if you want to grow your brand and ultimately your business down the line, then you need to know who your people are. So once you've defined your audience, you then have to speak to them, educate them, and inspire them. But your audience is your community, right? It's your tribe. It's the people that surround you, that help you grow. So sit down and work out. And this is another paper exercise. You're like, oh my God, I have to write all this down. And I never would have been a writing down person in years gone by, but it really helps me get clear. So I'm talking about, yes, your audience they believe in you and what you do, but what else do they do? If it's a family audience, what do they do at the weekends? Where do they shop? Where do they eat? What kind of activities do they do? What age are they? Are they married? Are they not? Are they single? Are they not? So once you have all of those things written down, it helps you create amazing content that, and I've written here, educates them and inspires them. So, and brings value to them. So just to give you an example, if your audience are a family audience, and you sell clothes, for example. This is just an example. If that family are spending time out at the weekends, going to all the new attractions that are opening up, and there's something really cool you've noticed online that you think your audience would enjoy, that's not going to sell you clothes, but it's going to bring value to them. So tell them about it. Share it in your Facebook group. Say, guys, I've seen this. You would really love it. It's happening this weekend. And this is all about connecting with your audience, and it's stepping outside the box. It's very hard to grow your own brand when you continually try to sell. And I would always advise against that. That's not how you connect and how you make people get a part of your community. It's whenever you actually give them advice and value that they really, really respect and thank you for. So that's just a wee small example, but always bring them value in any way you can. And when you know them really, really well, you absolutely can do this. So whenever I think of my Dig Mama audience, if I see a lovely recipe and I see, a really good deal in the local supermarket, or like, I tell my people about it, and that doesn't help me like in any way really, but it helps my community respect me and trust me and know that I bring them value, and it creates a great conversation. So you need to be thinking outside the box. And I know there's a lot of people listening to this and they're going to be thinking, oh my God, this is flipping hard work. But it is hard work. That building your brand is not easy. It's time consuming, it's relentless, but it's necessary if you want to grow. So all of these things, and I'm talking about online now, like I'm going to talk about other ways later on, but online, these are great things that you can be doing to help grow your brand, and but always keep your values at the forefront of what you're doing. So if you're going to share content with them, make sure it obviously aligns with who you are as a person and what you believe. But when you combine those both together, again, magic happens and your community grows. People start to talk about you. They're like, go follow this amazing boutique. She's always given great tips on how to wear different items and how to style things. And it might necessarily always be about selling, but she's helping. Go follow her. And that's how you grow. So you need to think outside the box really whenever you're thinking about your audience, and not just try to sell to them, is really what I'm always a great advocate for. And then once you know your audience and you find them, you need to pitch to them. So how often have we all said, and I've been there too, I just own this wee business, or I just do this wee thing on the side, or what do you do? And you skip on to the next person and you direct the conversation back to them. No. When you're growing your own brand, you can't do that. You can't deflect. You can't miss an opportunity to pitch. And it doesn't have to be salesy. It just has to be a pitch. So part of Women in Business, the Yes You Can, I was sitting on the panel of listening to these amazing women that blew our socks off for 2 full hours. Every 10 minutes, a woman pitched to us. And my God, do they know how to pitch. Like, I don't think I can pitch like that. Like, these women have it down to a T, but the reason why is because they've planned it out. They knew exactly why they're the best at what they do, why they're doing it, why you should buy it, listen to it, find out about it. And those were pitches, and I think they did it in a minute. So I've written here, if you can perfect a 30 to 60 second pitch on who you are and what you do, keeping your brand values at the forefront at all times, this will follow you around. So once you have the pitch, you can use it vocally, face to face. You can put it on your Instagram bio. You can put it on your Facebook story about us. You can put it on your Twitter profile, your LinkedIn, and it's the same pitch across them all. There's brand identity there. People know what you stand for, no matter where they land online, on your website, your homepage, wherever it may be. That pitch, that all about you needs to be, like Alan Kavanagh says, you need to know it like you know your name. You do. And never ever play yourself or what you do down. This is not the time. We're trying to grow our brand here. You sell yourself in an authentic, genuine way, but you need to know it. So again, another paper exercise, write it down. So just to give you an example, I do work a lot in the retail sector with businesses. So I'm going to use a ladies' boutique again. If you are a ladies' boutique, how do you pitch that to stand out? How? It's very hard. It's a very noisy world. It's a very saturated market. So you need to think, right, what are my values? I want to help my customer. Okay, so I own a ladies' boutique. It's a bricks and mortar store. It's also online. We travel all over the world to source the best brands for our customer, because our customer means the most to us. We offer in-store appointments, we offer virtual appointments, and we give you the time you deserve to choose the perfect outfit. You're always at the forefront of everything we do. Immediately, I'm like, flip. They sound unreal. Must check them out. So all the top brands, they really care about me. They're going to give me one-to-one styling. So those are the type of buzzwords, the type of pitching you need to be doing to capture people, because there's so many people talking online. How are you going to stand out? But again, you can't waffle that. You can't make that up every single time and it be different. You need to learn it off. That's your bio. That's your story. That's your about me. Get it perfected. Write it down and pitch yourself. Never, ever, ever play yourself down. I feel so bad when I hear people do that. I'm like, no, stop. Go back and tell them why you're amazing, because you are. So That's your pitch. So now
I have always wanted the Dig podcast to be a place of learning and a place of inspiration, but I've also wanted it to be a place where businesses can gain exposure. That's why I'm so excited to open up the Dig podcast to businesses and allow them to pitch their business to you.
Hey everyone, I am delighted to tell you all a bit about our business. My name is Orla and Forever Furniture is a family run business. We are an online furniture store with many years experience in the furniture industry. We aim to provide our customers with the best quality products at the best possible price. Our furniture has been sourced from some of the top suppliers in the UK and Europe. We have a fully kitted showroom based in Dundalk, County Louth. It is open Monday to Saturday 9 to 6. If you are unable to attend the showroom, please do not hesitate to contact us, as we can happily send you product images and details. Our unique selling point is offering free nationwide delivery north and south of Ireland. If you have any questions, you can reach us on Instagram and Facebook at Forever Furniture. We can also be contacted by email info@foreverfurniture.ie. To check out our fab range of products, you can visit our website on www.foreverfurniture.ie. We look forward to hearing from you.
now you know your audience, you know your brand values, you know your pitch. How are you going to grow? So as I've said there, it's so noisy right now. Like, it's even noisier since COVID. People are embracing this now. They're embracing online. They're embracing growing their brand. They know what it takes to stand out, and it's noisier than it ever was. So how are you going to stand out? And there's different ways. And face to face, you can never beat face to face. Like, never forget about who you are and your brand values when you speak to people, when you're on in the supermarket, when you're on your way to work, when you're in work. You know, people remember who you are and what you proclaim to be online. So we've all been in the situation where we've met people that we perceive they're a certain way from what's seeing them online, and we meet them face to face, and it's not there. What they said they were is not true. So you always have to remember face to face is the most important. Let's face it, that's the way, you know, the world used to be, and we can never forget that. So your online persona, your online brand has to be you. And that's when, like, the people who aren't genuine and don't know their brand values will shine through. But if you've thought about this and you really know what you stand for, when you meet someone face to face, it will shine through, and their passion for what they do will. So don't forget about growing your brand face to face. Everywhere you go, you are your brand, and don't ever forget it. Then we go to my baby, which is social media and PR. So social media, my goodness, are we in a world now where the opportunities are endless and people fear social media? And I get that, I understand, but you know, it's an amazing tool, and it can change things around for you, and it can let you shine a light on everything that you do, but you have to let it. And social media is hard work. It's time consuming, it's relentless, but it's necessary to grow your brand online. It really, really is. And you need to start somewhere. So if you're feeling like social is overwhelming you, you need to start somewhere. I'm going to talk about it in the next slide. And then traditional PR, we can't forget about that. That is huge as well. And a lot of people forget about it, but I'll talk about it on the next slide. And then we've networking and events. And oh my God, I wish this event was in person so we could all meet up after and chat and get to know and connect. But networking and events is an amazing way to grow your brand. It has helped me so much, and I'll talk about that as well in the slides to come. So social media, you'll see me here in all these pictures with the phone in my hand, and I don't apologize for it. This is my work, whereas my phone is sitting here videoing me. But you know, I use the analogy of my husband's a welder, and would I shout at my husband if he always had the welder in his hand? No, because he's working. And my phone is my work, and it's part of my brand and who I am and how I connect. So I don't apologize for having that phone in my hand. Obviously not in family, when we're having like special moments and stuff. But I mean, this is my work. So you wouldn't shout at a hairdresser for having scissors, or, you know what I mean, or a boutique for showing their clothes. So why would anyone feel negatively about your phone? Your phone is part of growing your brand. And I've written here all the social media platforms, and I know there's people watching going, oh my God, I'm out already. I can't do this. You can't be in all of those. And if you are, fair play, hands up, unreal. But, you know, very difficult to be on all of them and to be all singing, all dancing. So my advice is, if you're struggling, choose two, right? So my audience is on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And oh God, it's probably on them all, but I can't be on them all. So I've chosen to be very, very active on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So Facebook, it's still the leading platform it's still the leading social media platform, and you have to give it the attention that it deserves to grow your brand. So if you're on, some people say, well, I am on Facebook, but it's no good and I'm not getting the engagement and it's not really that good for me. And then you look at what they're doing online and you're thinking, but that's why you're not in all the things we talked about at the start. You're not engaging with your audience. You're not bringing value. You're not educating. So use the things like the features like the live videos, Facebook groups. So create a group of a small knit community of your people and bring extra value to them, offer them the added chance to, you know, liaise with you and engage with you. Live videos scare the life out of people. I get it. If you can't do it, maybe do a split screen with another colleague, another person in your industry, bring value that way. But you need to start thinking outside the box about these social media platforms. Otherwise, you're just going to stagnate and you're not going to grow. People expect more now. And I talked to my daddy about this. My dad is 68 and he's a very traditional businessman. He's a contractor and he thinks social media, like, why would you need that? You know, if you're good enough, people will come. Yes, years ago. But now people listen to people, and if you aren't projecting who you are, then they're going to go to your competitor or your other, you know, the other person that is bringing value. So you need to be on there. Unfortunately, that's just the way life is, and we have to embrace that. So Instagram, wow, there's so many features that you can be embracing to connect with your audience and grow your brand. Instagram stories, Instagram TV for like long form content, reels. These are whole other tutorials, but you know, just to be aware of them. The grid, how your brand looks on the grid, like all those things can be utilized in such a great way. And if you don't know how, you need to learn. So I am self-taught. A lot of people are self-taught. Go to seminars, seek out a mentor, speak to people, ask them, how did you do that? Like, I send loads of messages online. Here, how did you do that reel? I really need to learn how to do this. My audience need to see me do these. So you need to learn, and you can sit and say, as long as you want, I just don't know how and it's not for me, but you're going to miss out. So I'm a great advocate for learn, put it into action and see the results and learn from that as well. LinkedIn, like, it's a great, people say, oh, I'm only on LinkedIn because it's B2B. But I'm a great believer of those businesses have also personal profiles on Instagram and Facebook. So you should be over there too. But if you're on LinkedIn, video content is huge on there. Having your voice behind your brand, not easy for people, I know. But if you can, absolutely utilize that. Then there's Twitter for journalism and politics. I'm not on there. Can't get my head around Twitter at all. I don't think it's where my audience is, but it absolutely is for other people. TikTok, oh my God, TikTok, I am not on there, and it's not really where my audience is either yet, but absolutely the millennials and the younger audience are there. If that's your audience, you need to be starting to embrace that. YouTube, Snapchat, my goodness, I could go on, but I know that we want to leave some time at the end for questions. But these are all individual tutorials and individual things you need to find out about. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of social media and how you use it to connect with your brand. You need to be I'm going to talk about tips after, but you need to be showing up on the platforms your audience are on. Traditional PR, I recently done a podcast with my friend and colleague Fiona Brown, PR Communications. She's a PR expert, and she talks about getting yourself in front of journalists. You know, start to follow them online, start to tag them in content you think would be relevant, DM them if you think if you have a story or you're doing something amazing you think they might think is newsworthy. Putting yourself in front of those people. Traditional forms of PR is really, really key. And if you can't find, and I'm aware I'm probably talking a million miles an hour here, but I want to get it all fitted in. If you can't find your voice on all the other social media platforms, think about employing a PR expert to help get your brand awareness, to grow your brand in that way first. And that might give you the confidence you need to embrace all of those. Ooh, I need to take a breath. So top tips you can apply across all the platforms to help you grow your brand. Be genuine and always remember your brand values. If you're on all those platforms, people can spot someone a mile away that's not being genuine. And if you, like people say, well, I'm trying to be genuine. If you always remember your why am I doing this? That's genuine, and it will come across honestly. Tell a story. So that scares people too, because they think they need to use their voice. If you fear this part of what I'm doing, like speaking on camera, I get it, it's not easy. Then tell your story in written format. Get someone else to tell your story. Maybe speak with a PR consultant, an influencer, someone else that can tell your story for you until maybe you feel confident enough to do it. And it might always be written content for you, but at least tell it. We need to hear it. We need to hear your reason why. The next thing is probably the most important thing, is be consistent. You can't grow your brand, and ultimately you can't grow your business if you aren't consistent. If you go all guns blazing for a week, if you come off this conference today and you're so excited and you're so motivated, and you go all guns blazing for a week, and then we don't hear from you for another 3 weeks, customers forgot about you, your audience has moved on to the next person. Consistency is key. And I always say, when I had my bricks and mortar store, I wouldn't consider not putting my shutter up every day. So why would I even consider not speaking to my people online every day? You need to think of it like that. It's not always about you. So this is the selling thing that doesn't sit easy with me. Continually sell isn't really a good way to grow your personal brand. It's not always about you, and my headphones are slipping off. It's about your customer and your audience and how you can bring them value. And I have talked about that. Or educate them, bringing them value at all times. Collaborate with other businesses and influencers. This is a whole new space now. And when you connect with another business, actual gold, like to help each other like that. First of all, just the reward you get as a person that you have helped and came together, but also the positive impact that has online and in person is actually massive. And there's so many opportunities, and work with influencers. Influencer marketing is huge. And I wouldn't have a negative thing to say about influencer marketing. Yes, there's people that aren't genuine. You get that in every aspect of life. But if people believe people and trust people, so try to connect with an influencer that aligns with your brand values, and you do something cool and you do something good and meaningful and stand out, and that will actually be gold. And then be ready to make mistakes. My God, like I've made some mistakes along the line, and so will you. That's all right, sure. We all make mistakes. It's not easy. Life is not easy. Business is not easy. But, we got to try things and be ready to make them, because you will. Networking and events. Oh my goodness. There's me and Sarah. So I met Sarah at loads of events I was speaking at, and, start to attend events either virtually or in person where your audience will be. This is important. This is hard work because it takes time away from your business and your family. But the opportunities which open up at events is huge. I met Neve, who is my co-founder of the Northern Ireland Social Media Awards, at an event 4 years ago. Now we're best friends, we're colleagues, we're co-founders of an amazing business, all because I stepped out of my comfort zone and went to that event that day. And, look what happened. So don't underestimate that face-to-face event. No, this is virtual, but hopefully soon. And then at the event, pitch to other people. Use that pitch we talked about at the start. Never miss that opportunity to tell who you are and what you do, because that could be a new customer, a new person that's part of your community you're speaking to. Always do that, and follow up afterwards. If you go and you meet amazing people, connect with them on social, follow them online, and get their phone number, email, and stay engaged with them and make them part of your community if they're right for that and they're part of what you do and your brand. So networking and events is huge, and don't ever forget that kind of traditional way either. And I'm going to take another breath. Be prepared to reinvent as you grow. These pictures mean a lot to me. I've went through a lot in the last 18 months. I don't like to dwell on it because it doesn't define me, but I was so sad when I closed my shop in Dungannon, because I believed that how am I going to do all the things that matter? How am I going to make a difference anymore, like I did with the Dig Superstars and everyone that I worked with there? And I became sad and down for a while. But I stripped it all back. Why am I working? What am I doing? What is my brand values? I want to make a difference. And I moved on to making a difference in the business community. And this is my new community now. The girls that you see here, and I worked with them all before Christmas, and we've done great things. So I've written here, your path may change, and that can really, really throw you. And it threw me. I am not superhuman. I was devastated. But never forget who you are and your reasons why, and you will continue to flourish and grow. I truly believe it. So I'm taking in more oxygen. Oh my God, I was afraid of running out of time, guys. I really was. But if you want to connect with me on social, because you know that's where I am, I'm on Facebook as Dig Mama and Dig for Success. I'm on Instagram as Dig Mama and Dig for Success. I'm on LinkedIn as Caroline O'Neill. I'm on YouTube as Dig for Success. I have a website, digmama.com, with all that I do is on there. And then I'm also the Dig podcast on Spotify and Apple.
So thank you for listening. I know when I listen back to that, a million miles an hour, but I've made some show notes as always, and you can go over there and check them out if you missed anything. And always remember, you can connect with me on social, as I said at the end of my presentation. I'm always here. Always remembering my brand at all times, and I hope it's helped you get a clear vision of what your brand is. Thanks, guys.